Okay, we're going to continue to answer the question, how do I multiply with whole numbers, fractions, and mixed numbers? Now, in the last lesson, I only had you multiplying fractions and whole numbers. There were no mixed numbers involved. That's what we're going to focus on today. So basically, the steps for multiplying mixed numbers are as follows. You have to turn mixed numbers into improper fractions. A lot of people think that you can just, multiply the fractions like you normally would and then multiply the whole numbers, but that's not going to work out. Here, what you would do first is you would turn the 1 1/2 into 3 halves, or 3 over 2. So again, you do, 2 times 1 plus 1 more, there's your 3 over 2. And with 2 1/5, 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. So that becomes 11/5. So this is an extra step that's involved when you're multiplying mixed numbers. You must first turn them into improper fractions, and then you can multiply like you normally would. You multiply your numerators, 3 times 11 is 33, and you multiply your denominators, 2 times 5, which is 10, and of course turn that into a mixed number because you can't have an improper fraction in your answer. So it becomes 3 3/10. So in some cases, you might have some extra work where you will have to first change mixed numbers into improper fractions, and then maybe change an improper fraction back into a mixed number for your answer. So let's do some practice. This is workbook page 115. These were some of the problems I had asked you to skip the other day. Here we have 2 3/5 times 4 2/3. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn those mixed numbers into improper fractions. So I'm going to do 2 times 5, which is 10, plus 3 more, and now I have 13/5. And 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 2 more, and now I have 14/3. And now I can multiply. Alright, so 13 times 14 is 182. And 5 times 3 is 15, and well, I have an improper fraction here, so I have to turn that into a mixed number. And let's see, 15 goes into 18 one time, 15 goes into 32 two times, and that will give me 12 2/15. Let's do one more together, and then you'll be able to do some on your own. Here I have 3 1/3, which I'm going to turn into, let's see, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 more is 10, so that becomes 10/3. And 4 times 5, which is 20, plus 2 more, now I have 22/5. And now I can multiply them. So first I'm going to multiply my numerators, 10 times 22, which is just 220, and 3 times 5, which is 15, and yet again I have this improper fraction, so I'm going to have to turn that into a mixed number. Let's see, 15 goes into 22 one time, and 15 goes into 70 4 times. 4 times 15 is 60. So now I have 14 10/15, which when I simplify it becomes 14 2/3. Alright, so here are the takeaways for this lesson. You'll notice that we now have an extra step involved when you're multiplying with mixed numbers. The first thing that you have to do is to turn mixed numbers into your improper fractions. Then you can go through the rest of the steps. If you have any whole numbers, you put them over 1. You multiply your numerators, you multiply your denominators, and of course you make sure your answer is a mixed number or a proper fraction, and that it's in simplest form. You can't have improper fractions in your answer, only in the multiplication problem.